Hello my friends and welcome. Today we're going to do a Hatha practice, and when I'm planning my weekly Hatha yoga class I'm always checking in with the cycles of life. So I'm checking in with the seasons. The practices we do in the spring may differ from what we like to do in winter time. I'm also considering the time of the day of the class. And I'm checking in with the moon as well. There's an outer moon, the cycle of the moon that we can all see on the sky in the nights. And then I have my own private inner moon, my menstrual cycle. So I'm bringing awareness to all of these cycles in the planning of my class. So today, what I thought that I would share with you is a Hatha yoga practice, probably to the energizing, invigorating side. So right now it's high noon, the sun is shining, it's springtime, and we are approaching a full moon in a couple of days. So you may feel some extra energy in your body around this time of the cycle, of the moon cycle, and the day cycle and so on. But you may watch this class at another time and be in another place. You can also consider your own inner cycle. And if you feel like you need something softer, gentler, you may want to follow along in this practice. You're welcome to modify anything that I suggest you to do in this practice. You can make it all softer and gentler, or you can skip some of the practices. Or you may want to look and see if there's another more suitable Hatha yoga practice you can choose to do instead. So let's dive in. So the first thing is to find a comfortable seat. And I'm kneeling right now. And you can kneel like me, or you can sit in a cross-legged position or any other position that makes your body sing. What I suggest is that you sit up on something so that you feel freedom to move your pelvis, that you don't feel stuck in any way when you're sitting. So make sure you can move your pelvis. You can tilt the pelvis backwards, you can tilt it forwards, a rocking movement through your pelvis, tailbone curled under, rocking all the way to your pubic bone. You can repeat this a couple of times just to feel gentle stretch in the lower back, some gentle movements in your hip joints, feeling the sits bones in your pelvis. And see if you can come to the top of the sits bones. Maybe lean extra weight into one sits bone, come back to the middle and to the other sits bone. So just a gentle side movement. And then you can also do a circular movement. You're connecting the four corners of the pelvic floor, pubic bone, one sits bone, tailbone, and the other sits bone. So you're circling at the periphery of your pelvic floor. You can circle a couple of times in one direction. And then you pause and you change direction. Feel free to close your eyes or soften your gaze as you're bringing awareness inside of your body. So come back to the middle, sit on top of your sits bones, and see if you can sit tall without using too much effort. So see if you can find an effortlessly long, tall posture here, balancing effort and effortlessness. Taking time to check in with your shoulders, maybe gently circling the shoulders, lifting them up, bringing them back and down. You can do this a couple of times. And also finding a good balance for your head. Soften your face. Let's just close the eyes or just soften the gaze for a little while. So notice if there's anything you can do to sit more comfortable and upright at the same time. There's an effort in sitting upright, but you try not to overdo the effort. So feel this effortlessness too. And then notice your breath. Notice the inhalation, the breath, the air coming into your body. And notice the exhalation, the breath, air leaving your body. Where do you feel your breath? Maybe you feel some sensations in your nostrils. Maybe you can sense a difference in temperature of the air coming in and the air flowing out. Maybe you feel the air, the breath in the back of your throat, in the top of your chest, and heart space. Maybe you feel the breath in your belly expanding and gently contracting. And notice if you can feel your breath all the way into the pelvic floor moving a little bit down, getting a little stretch on the inhalation. Like the pelvic floor is receiving the breath, and on the exhalation the pelvic floor is gently contracting and lifting. So notice your breath. Using the breath as the anchor for your attention now and throughout the practice. When you feel ready, you can start to deepen and lengthen the breath and see if you can breathe through your nostrils, but maybe control the breath in your throat area so you can make a gentle whispering sound with your breath, gentle ujjayi breathing. If that's not comfortable, maybe you inhale through your nose and then exhale between your lips, through your mouth. Just find a comfortable, slow rhythm of breathing. And then we'll begin with some movements for the head. So as you exhale, you can drop the chin towards the chest and roll the head to one side. And you inhale, imagining yourself gazing over your shoulder. Exhale, roll your head to the other side. Inhale, gazing over the shoulders. You can do that with your eyelids closed or maybe a gentle gaze. And exhale, roll. Inhale, chin at the shoulder. Exhale, rolling the chin across the chest. And when you feel balanced, you pause in the middle, exhaling. And then inhale the head back up to a balanced position. And then you can drop the head to one side and let the head hang here for a little while, feeling a stretch in the side of the neck. If you want more of a stretch, you can place the opposite hand on the head, not to pull, just to give the head a little extra weight. And you can also reach down through that free other arm. Just take a couple of nice full breaths like this. And then you can release with an exhale and inhale, head back up to balance. And then you do the other side, dropping the head to the other side. Notice the stretch in the neck. Maybe it's already enough. Maybe you want a little extra stretch by adding some weight to your head with a hand. And you can also increase the stretching sensation by reaching down through the other free arm. And then as you exhale, you can release your head and bring it back up to the middle. Exhale, the chin goes to the chest. And you can place the hands on the back of your head. You can massage along the scalp. You can massage down your neck. Just take a couple of breaths like this. Have your head hang and then support your head. When you inhale, you lift your chin and you're kind of leaning your head back into your hands. And then as you exhale, you can drop the head back down, chin down, maybe massaging a little more along the edge of the scalp and down your neck. And then again, inhale, lift your chin and lean your head back in your hands. And then come back to neutral and release your hands. And then interlock your fingers behind your back. Roll your shoulders back, squeeze your shoulder blades and lift your arms up as much as you like. And feel a stretch across your chest. Take a couple of breaths like this. You may notice it's hard to breathe into your back, but you can get a good stretch on the front. And then you can exhale, release, and instead interlock your fingers on the front, turn your palms out, and now tuck the tail under and drop your chin and round your back. So this time you're getting a good stretch between your shoulder blades, upper part of the back. Feel the breath now move into your back while there's not so much space in your chest. Take a couple of nice breaths. And then as you inhale, rock forward through your pelvis to your pubic bone and lift your arms up so you can gently arch the lower back. Exhale, lower your arms and round the back and tuck the tail and drop the chin. Inhale, rocking forward, lifting up. And exhale, round. So repeat a couple of times. Maybe gazing forward or looking up as you inhale and dropping your chin down as you exhale. Reach your arms up one more time. And then release your hands, fingertips on your shoulders. And see if you can find the balance position for your pelvis. Sit on top of your sits bones. And then circle one elbow back and up as you inhale. And when that elbow comes forward and down, the other one goes back and up. And when that comes forward and down, the first one is going back and up again. Drawing circles with your elbows. And after a couple of rounds, you can start to turn your spine to one side. And then to the other side. And the higher you lift your elbows, the more stretch you'll feel in your side. So if you feel like a good stretch, lift your elbows. Maybe it's already feeling fine and you don't have to reach any higher. Do one more round. And then you change direction. One elbow forward and up as you inhale and back and down as you exhale. And again, you can twist your spine. And you can lift your elbows higher if you like. Let's do two more. And come back to the middle. Release your hands down. And maybe just for a moment close your eyes or drop your gaze. And notice how you're feeling in your body after these first movements. Maybe you feel some heat or other sensations in your body. And then when you feel ready, maybe open your eyes again and reach one arm overhead as you inhale and exhale, bend to the other side. And come back to the middle, upper hand comes down, lower arm goes up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale in the middle, one arm up, the other arm comes down. Exhale, get a good stretch of the whole side, shoulders away from the ears. You can look down or out, or maybe chin down and looking up below your arm, back through the middle. Exhale to the side. Back through the middle as you inhale. Exhale, get a nice side stretch. And if you can remember where you began, you finish at the other side. And come back to the middle. And then place your hands on your knees or thighs. And if you sit narrow like me, maybe take your knees a little bit wider. And inhale, sit tall. And when you exhale, you reach across one shoulder towards the opposite knee. Inhale up. Exhale, crossing over. Inhale up. Exhale, crossing over. So you may feel this less of a side stretch and more of a stretch in your lower back. Let's do one more to both sides. You can do an extra if you need that to feel more balanced. And then come back to the middle. And if you widened your legs, maybe bring them a little further in. And then as you inhale, lift one arm up overhead and reach back, exhaling. Inhale, lift the arm up, and exhale, hand comes forward and down, rounding your back. Inhale, the other arm up overhead. Let's just do all of that in one inhalation, and then exhale all the way back. Rounding, dropping the chin. Inhale, first arm goes again. Nice twist. Exhale, all the way back. So depending on your energy level and your position, you can stay seated and continue to do this movement a couple of times. If you're sitting cross-legged and you're comfortable there. If you feel that you have to be a little careful with not overspending your energy, you don't have to lift up. But if you're kneeling and you feel full of energy, you could come up and inhale, reaching back. Exhale, come back down, rounding your back. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, down. And then come back to the middle and pause for a moment again, maybe closing your eyes or dropping your gaze. And again, just take a moment to tune into your body and your breath and your mind and notice how you're feeling. So we will move on to all fours. And you can use a blanket for your knees, so you feel more comfortable in your knees. Knees below the hips and the wrists below the shoulders. Don't lock your elbows. So notice that you can move your elbows around even if the arms are pretty straight. And then distribute weight into the whole palm and use both hands evenly. Maybe gently tuck the chin in a bit to feel the length in the back of the neck and the length in the whole of the spine from the tailbone to the top of the back of the head. And on the front below your navel, between pubic bone and navel, feel that those deep abdominal muscles are supporting you, so you don't just let your belly hang down. Don't squeeze so hard or lift so much that you can't breathe into the belly area, but also don't let it go completely. So take a nice breath in like this. And then exhale, round your back. Tuck your chin, tuck your tail. Inhale, flattening the back. And exhale, rounding the back.
It's easy to round the upper back. See if you can also get some rounding going in the lower back. And when you inhale, you can reach your heart forward and lift your chin and see if you can find an arch in your chest. And maybe hold back a little bit with the arching in the lower back. And then exhale again, round. So see if you can engage the whole spine in this movement from the tail all the way to the top of the back of the head. Exhale, rounding. Focusing more on the lower back as you round. And when you inhale, you can focus more on the chest. And then you can come back to neutral position. And then take a nice breath in, and when you exhale, gently pull the left hip towards the left shoulder and look around the shoulder for your invisible tail. Inhale back to the middle. Exhale, gently pull the right hip to the right shoulder, and again, look around the shoulder for the invisible tail. Inhale in the middle. Notice how your spine is making a C shape to the side. Inhale in the middle, and then a C shape to the other side. So I'm not allowing my pelvis to rock from side to side, but I'm shortening one side of the torso and the other side is getting a stretch. And then back through the middle. And then it's the other side getting strengthened and shortened, and the first side is getting the stretch. Inhale in the middle. Exhale, shorten one side. Inhale in the middle. And exhale, shorten the other. And when you feel balanced, you come back to the middle. And then we'll be drawing circles with the pelvis. So you can imagine a point between your knees. And the pelvis goes to one side. And then circle back towards the heels, over to the other side. Forward towards the hands. Back to the first side. Circle all the way back. All the way forward. Make one circle, one breath. And you can experiment if you want to exhale back and inhale forward. Or try the opposite and see how it feels. And you can also experiment with the size of the circle. If you find a particular size where you want to hang out because it feels good, you're welcome. So we'll be doing a couple of more circles in this direction. And then you pause for a moment somewhere in the circle and then change the direction. Still one circle, one breath. And you can keep experimenting with the breath and the size of the circles. So the circle doesn't have to have the same side when you go in this other direction as in the first direction. See if you can make it feel really nice, feeling good in your body. And you can also add a shoulder circle now. So when you inhale, maybe you come forward circling with your shoulders. And when you exhale, come back towards the heel circling with your pelvis. So you're drawing a figure of 8. If you want to try the breath the other way around, exhaling forward, inhaling back, that's fine too. You can experiment. See if you can make your whole spine move in this snake-like way. And pause for a moment and change direction. So one figure of 8 is one breath. One circle is the inhalation and the other circle is the exhalation. Let's just do one more. And come back to the middle. And if you need a little freeing movement for your wrists, you could come up in a high kneeling position and bring your palms together at your heart. And just do some opening prayer movements here, opening lotus. So you're turning the palms out and around, down. Come all the way around in one breath. And you
can do movements in the other direction too. Just moving around the wrists and preparing to do a little more practice on all fours with weight in the hands. So when the hands feel fine again, you can come back to all fours. And then inhale, tuck the toes under on the left foot, and exhale, slide the toe along the mat. If you have any pelvic issues, pelvic pains, you may just want to stay here. And if you're feeling good, you can lift the left foot to the opposite side of the right foot, push into the left hand, and then gaze around the right shoulder and stay here for a couple of breaths. And maybe getting a good stretch down the left side of your body. And you can finish an exhalation and then inhale and bring that left leg back. Turn the left foot 90 degrees, placing the whole sole of the foot on the floor. So you're not on the inner edge, you're using the whole foot, the sole of the foot on the floor. And lift the right lower leg and swing it out. Put weight into your right hand and lift your left arm up. Push into the floor, reach the opposite arm overhead. You can gaze down or out or up as you like, getting a good stretch across your chest. And then turn the upper hand, the left hand forward, and then reach across. So get a good stretch in your side again. Take a couple of breaths here. And then as you exhale, you can circle that left hand all the way down. Swing your right foot in, lift your left heel up, and come back on all fours. And then we're doing the other side. So you tuck the toes under on your right foot, slide the toes along the mat, pushing out through the heel, exhaling, strong leg. Maybe staying here if you have any pelvic pains, or lift your right foot to the other side of the left foot. Toes are still tucked under. Push into the right hand and then look around your left shoulder down towards the right heel. And stay here for a couple of nice full breaths. And you can finish the exhalation and inhale, bring the right leg back. Turn the foot 90 degrees and place the whole sole of the foot on the floor. Lift the left lower leg up and swing from the knee. The leg goes out. Push into the left hand and reach your right arm up. And again, you can look down, forward, maybe up if you feel like it. Getting a good stretch across the chest. Firm pressure in your right foot and your left hand, and then turn your right palm facing forward and then reach across your head. Get a good side stretch. Take a couple of breaths. And then exhale, right hand comes down. Swing your left lower leg in, lift your right heel up. Back on all fours. And then let's rock a bit. So take a breath in like this on all fours. Exhale, push your pelvis towards your heels. Inhale, rock back up, all fours. Exhale, pushing back. Next time you come back with the pelvis towards the heels, place your elbows on the ground and then come forward closer to the floor as far as you can get, and then push evenly into both hands. Lift the elbows, straighten the arms, and then this time round your back on the way back towards your heels, elbows down. Inhale, come forward closer to the floor, push off evenly in both hands. Exhale, round on the way back. Repeat a couple of times. If you preferred the first variation, you're welcome to do that instead. You could also try to move the other way around. You could come up and forward with a rounded back and then bend your elbows and push
back closer to the floor. Round as you come up and forward. And arching as you're pushing back closer to the floor. And let it be the last one, so that when you come back with your pelvis towards your heels, you take rest in child's pose, maybe forehead on the floor, or use your forearms. And breathe. And again, an invitation to tune into your body, your breath, and your mind. When you feel ready, come back up on all fours. We're moving towards the standing postures, but on our way up, we're going to do a practice that is going to strengthen the buttocks and the legs, and also stretch the hip flexor muscles on the front of the hips. So begin by placing your left foot forward beside your hand, and then come up. So you have a 90 degrees angle in the front leg and a 90 degrees angle in the back leg. Then you tuck your toes under on the back foot. And you can place the hands on your pelvis. And then inhale. And then as you exhale, feel your pelvic floor come up. Your deep abdominals contract. And then you're lifting that right knee off, coming all the way up. Squeezing the right buttock, feeling a stretch in the front. And then inhale, you come back down. Allow for the inhalation to reach all the way into the pelvic floor, and then exhale all the way up. Inhale all the way down. Keep lengthening up through the top of the back of the head. Inhale as you come down, allow the breath to reach the pelvic floor. Exhale as you come up, pelvic floor is lifting, abdominals contracting, squeezing that right buttock and feeling a stretch in the front. Let's do 2 more on the first side. Coming all the way down, and pause for a moment in the high kneeling position, and just take a moment to notice the difference between the right and the left side here. So you may feel some warmth has built on the right side as we stretch out the psoas on the right. And then we'll do the other side. So place your right foot forward, tuck the toes under. On the left foot, 90 degrees angle in the front leg and the back leg. And you can begin with your hands on your pelvis and inhale all the way into the pelvic floor. And then exhale, pelvic floor contracts, deep abdominals work to support. And you're lifting off and you're squeezing that left buttock, feeling a stretch in the front of the left hip. Inhale all the way down. Maybe you're resting on the ground, maybe hover just above. Exhale, come all the way up. Inhale down. Exhale up, squeeze that left buttock. Let's do 2 more. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale all the way into the pelvic floor. And exhale, feel the pelvic floor contract on the way up. And then come to a standing position. So standing up, we begin with a little energizing practice for the feet. So put the weight into your left foot without dropping the hip to the side. So stay long on that left side from the foot to the shoulder. And then you tuck the toes under on the right foot. And see if you can spread the toes and catch all 5 toes on the mat. So sometimes you need to
Take the foot out a little to the side to catch the little toe and bring some weight into that foot. Just take a couple of breaths. You may feel some funny stretchy sensation on the top of your right foot. And then you can lift the foot up, spread your toes, and you sort of wing the toes out. So spread the toes wide and lift the heel high and put some weight into that right foot. Take a couple of breaths. And then repeat the first one again, toes under. Catch all 5 toes, as much weight as you can in that right foot. So the stretching can be quite intense here. Remember to catch the little toe. And then spreading the toes wide, lifting the heel high and bringing weight into the foot. You can almost balance on one leg here. So there's not a lot of weight in the left foot. And then lift the foot off the ground and shake the toes. And shake the foot. And shake the lower leg. And you can kick from the hip. Ha, ha, ha. And then stand on your feet, both feet. And just take a moment to feel the difference between the right and the left sides, the right and the left foot. So you'll probably feel more heat or sensations in the right side. Let's see if we can wake up the left side as well. So weight in the right foot without dropping the hip to the side. Stand tall on the right foot and tuck the toes on the left foot under. And see if you can catch all 5 toes. You may need to anchor the foot in an odd way, maybe, to catch the little toe. And bring some weight into that left foot. And maybe it's a odd, funny stretching sensation on the top of the foot. Take a couple of breaths before you lift the foot up and spread the toes wide. And lift the heel and again bring weight into the left foot. And repeat the first one again, toes tucked under. Catching the little toe on the side. And then spreading the toes wide, lifting the heel high, and you could almost stand on that left leg. And then you lift the foot off the ground and shake the toes. And shake the foot. And shake the lower leg. And from the hip, kick, ha, ha. And then come back to the middle. And maybe you need to kick the first leg a couple of times. And then just take a moment to notice how you're feeling in your feet and your legs. And then we can move the pelvis. So bring hands on the pelvis, bend your knees, and then swing the tailbone back. And swing the tailbone forward like a pendulum. Maybe inhale as you swing the tail back. Exhale as you swing the tail forward. Inhale, tail goes back, arching the lower back. Exhale, tucking the tail under, getting a nice stretch in the lower back. Inhale back, exhale forward. And the next time you exhale forward and push into the feet and lift the tail up and back. Exhale down and forward. So the tailbone is moving in circles, perpendicular to the floor. Down and forward, up and back. And you can do this in a more gentle way. Smaller movements, only including your pelvis and your legs. Or you can bring the movement into your chest and your head. And you can even release your pelvis and circle your shoulders if you feel like it. And if you have a lot of full moon energy or spring energy, maybe reaching the arms up feels like a good solution. So notice how you're feeling, how much or how little movement is beneficial for you. And then instead of circling perpendicular to the floor, we will make horizontal circles. So you can come back to the middle, swing the hip out to one side, and circle back over to the other side, forward, over, back, over. Making circles again with your pelvis around a point between your knees, or actually between your feet. And you decide how big or small you want to do this movement, and try the other way around too. So one circle is one breath, and you can play around with which part is the inhalation and which part is the exhalation, and how big you want to do this movement. Maybe one more. And come back to the middle. Push even into your feet. Stand up tall and release your arms. Maybe just dropping your gaze or closing your eyes and tuning into your physical body and your breath and your mind. So when you're ready to move again, step out, taking some more distance between your legs and your feet, and turn the right foot a little bit in and rotate the left foot all the way out. Make the rotation happen from your hip joint all the way out, and then bend your left knee, and you're tracking the left thigh with the toes, so they are going in the same direction towards the shorter edge of your mat. If you're standing on a mat, your pelvis is more in a diagonal direction. And then see if you can open the chest to the side. So you're trying to turn the chest towards the long edge of your mat, turning it away from the left knee. But pay attention that the left knee is not following the chest. So keep tracking the thigh with the toes, even when you try to turn your chest. And then reach the arms out. Palms can face forward. And then inhale. And when you exhale, bring the right arm around in a half circle to meet the left hand. And then as you inhale, you pull that right hand back, passing your chest, reaching back. And then exhale, circle forward. It's like pulling the string of a bow. You're pulling, 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 opening. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. I'm allowing for my right hip to move with my right arm back and forward. But if you have any pelvic pains, you may want to keep the pelvis pointing in the same direction and do all of the twisting movement higher up in your spine. So you're twisting in your torso, but you're keeping the pelvis still. Or if it feels good, right hip can follow back and come forward. So one more time, open up with an inhalation, and then drop your right hand down, lift your left arm up. And then we're going to do the inverted warrior, so you can slide the right hand down the right leg, leaning away from that left bend knee. Take your chin in a little, you can gaze down or out or up. But make sure your neck is nice and long. Take one more breath in here, and when you exhale, bring either the left hand to the left knee or the left forearm to the left thigh, and reach the right arm across in a side stretch. And then as you inhale, come back to the inverted warrior. And as you inhale, do the side stretch. Exhale. Inhale, inverted warrior. And exhale, side stretch. Really strong and stable legs. Let's do one more. And then you can stay in the side stretch. Legs are strong and you're not hanging down with your left forearm on the thigh or the hand on the knee. So you're using the inner strength to keep you stabilized, stretching the right side from the heel to the hand. Take a couple of breaths. And then when you exhale, right hand can come down and around and over and arms up. And we'll do the other side. So you're turning the toes on the left foot in and you're rotating right foot out, rotating from inside your hip joint and bending the right knee, tracking the thigh bone with the toes. Pelvis is more in the diagonal direction and trying to turn the torso towards the long edge of your mat, reaching your arms out. Take a couple of breaths. And next time you exhale, bring that left arm around to meet the right hand. And then inhale, pulling the bow, the string of the bow, opening up. Exhale, closing. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. So I'm not moving my right knee, but I'm moving my left hip, following the hand. And if it doesn't feel good in your pelvis, just keep your pelvis in the same diagonal position all of the time and do the whole movement in your torso. Let's do 2 more. And then exhale, drop the left hand down, reach your right arm up. And then you can slide the left hand even further down and do the inverted warrior. Keep the back of the neck long. You decide in what direction you want to look. Inhale, and then when you exhale, right hand goes to the right knee or the right forearm to the right thigh and the left arm across to the side stretch. Inhale, come back to the inverted warrior. Exhale, side stretch. And then you can stay in the side stretch and notice I'm using the strength in my legs and you're using your core to stabilize so you can lift the right arm off. You're not hanging down on your right leg and getting a good stretch of your left side. One more breath. And exhale, left arm circles down and around and all the way up. Feet parallel and come back to the middle. And again, take a moment to pause, maybe closing your eyes. Maybe soften your gaze and tuning in to what is happening inside your body. Maybe effects of the practice on your breath. And maybe also some effects on your mind. And then we'll be making our way down to a seated posture again. So maybe as you inhale, you can raise your arms overhead and come up on the balls of your feet, really stretching and reaching, and keep reaching up through your hands. As you exhale, lower your heels to the floor and then keep lowering the pelvis down, 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 down into a squat, Utkatasana chair pose. When you can't go any further down, place your hands down on the ground, walk them a little forward, place the knees down and then come to a seated position. Feel free to sit up on something, take your legs out to the sides. The legs don't have to be stretched out completely, so it's more important that you can stay high on your sits bones so you can sit really tall. If your hamstrings are flexible, you can push out through the heels and straighten your legs, but it's more important that you keep your spine straight, okay? So inhale, sit tall, exhale, reach your right arm across to the left foot and then circle over to the right. Inhale, sit up tall, exhale, reach the left hand towards the right foot and circle over to the left. Inhale, sit up,
exhale, reach and circle. And as you reach and circle, see if you can keep the spine nice and long. Keep your chest open. And then you exhale, reach across, and then inhale, lift the arm up overhead. And exhale, reach across. Inhale, lift the arm up overhead. And exhale, reach across. Inhale up. And you may notice I'm keeping my toes pointing up, feet flexed, ankles flexed. So I'm working my legs. I'm not just resting them. Pushing up through the heels. Coming back to the middle. You can cross your legs and then you push your shins forward until they become parallel and flex your ankles too. And inhale, sit tall. And this will be the finishing posture. Exhale, walk your hands forward. And you can walk them as far forward as you feel like. And notice how you're feeling in your hips and your buttocks. If it's a little bit too intense, bring your feet closer to the midline. And if you feel that you could have a little more intensity, walk your feet out towards the edge of the mat. And breathe. And finish an exhalation, and when you inhale, walk your hands back. Come back up to sitting, and then change the leg so the other lower leg is to the front. Sit tall with an inhalation, and exhale, walk your hands forward. And notice how you're feeling in your hips and your buttocks, and if it's too intense, remember you can bring your feet closer, and if you want more intensity, you can bring the feet further out. Make sure the shins are parallel. And take a couple of breaths. And you can finish an exhale, and then when you inhale, walk your hands back. And then come to a comfortable seated position. Maybe resting your hands on your thighs, sitting tall, shoulders nicely balanced, and head too. You can drop your gaze or you can close your eyes. And notice the breath. And then you can slowly let go of the controlling of the breath, allowing the body to be breathed again. And take a moment to thank yourself for setting time aside to do this, to complete this practice today. So I hope you have a nice feeling in your body, breath and mind. And now is the time to take rest. So feel free to use a blanket for your head, a bolster for your knees, cover yourself with a blanket, especially if you plan to lie for some time, resting 10-15 minutes. And maybe an eye cushion.
And take a moment to notice your body resting here. Maybe feeling into the points of contact between your body and the floor. Notice all of the places where the body is touching the floor. And then you can count your exhalations now down from 5 to 0, and with every exhalation, see if you can let go a little deeper. Let go of the weight of your body. Allow the weight of the body to be transferred through those points of contact. Down into the ground, down into the earth. And again, just allow for the body to be breathed and enjoy the rest.